Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sydney and today we're going to be doing the reading habits tag. Someone gave me the idea to do this tag video. I looked it up and watched a couple other people's videos for this tag and I thought it would be really fun to do it myself. So if you do not know what this tag is, it's basically a list of questions talking about some of your reading habits, good or bad. It gives you a little bit more of an idea on how I read. So without further ado, we're going to get into the questions. Number one is, do you have a certain place at home for reading? And yes, that would definitely be my couch. I know a lot of people generally like to read in their bed, but I find that I get too comfortable in my bed that I just want to fall asleep no matter what time of day it is. So for the most part, I like to be sitting on my couch in my living room. That's basically the main spot that I like to read. Number two is bookmark or random piece of paper. And for this, I would like to say I do use a bookmark because I have plenty of them in a jar right above me. So I like to just grab one of those whenever I pick up a new book to start reading. But if I'm in a situation where I don't have any bookmarks, then yes, random piece of paper or whatever I can find, to be honest. Yeah, whatever I can find to just slip in there real quick. If I have to go run and do something or just set my book down for a second, I'll just put whatever in because I'm chaotic like that sometimes. Number three is, can you just stop reading or do you have to stop at a chapter or a certain amount of pages? I can just stop reading, even if it's in the middle of a sentence. I mean, it depends on like if I'm interrupted by something and I have to like immediately put the book down, I will do that and I will stop wherever I'm at. But like for the night, like if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop reading for the night or I'll pick this back up later, so I'm gonna stop at a certain point, I will most likely finish the chapter or at least find a page break and then stop it there. Number four is, do you eat or drink while reading? Yes, I do. In fact, this morning I was reading while eating my breakfast. Most other times I always at least have my water with me, so that counts as drinking. Number five is, do I listen to music or watch TV while reading or have TV on in the background? I do / I can, but I don't typically sit down and say, okay, I'm going to read, so I'm going to turn on the TV. No. Or, okay, I'm gonna read, so I'm gonna turn on music. I mean, unless it's lo-fi music, and only if I'm really feeling like going all out with the vibes. Usually I like to just read in silence. I can read when the TV is on, depending on the show, because I like to read out in the living room. If my husband's out there and he's watching TV, I like to just be near him while I'm reading too. So I can typically tune out whatever he's listening to so that I can focus on my book. But again, it depends on the show. And then music, I can't listen to music with words. That's really hard because I love music, and so if it's a good song, there's no way I'm reading through that. I'm definitely going to stop and sing along to the song. But I can listen to lo-fi and instrumental and all of that for sure. Number six is one book at a time or several at once. Several at once. I'm currently reading, actually I've knocked it down a little bit, but I was at one point currently reading like 6 books. And that's a bit much. I don't have problems with intermixing stories or getting confused on characters if I'm reading the same genre. I think I used to be that way, but I have kind of gotten better at separating the stories and understanding the differences and remembering the differences between each book. Sometimes I like to have multiple books at a time because there's so many I want to be reading at the moment. So I will have 6 sometimes, but I typically will like to keep it to 3 or less. I would love to be the type of person to just read one book at a time so that I can get through it faster and not have to keep bouncing around between books and then that being what slows me down with my reading. But yes, I'm definitely a several at once type of person, and that's fine. I'm fine with it because, like I said, I don't confuse books. If I'm reading same genres, I'm pretty good at keeping them separate. Then there will be the occasional times where I'm just reading one book, which is weird, but also amazing. So maybe in the future I will try and be that type of person who only reads one at a time, but who knows. Number 7 is reading at home or everywhere. Now, is this question asking my preference? Or no, it's not, because it's the habits tag. So where I habitually read, I guess, is what the question is asking, is everywhere, but also just at home. Like, I take my book everywhere, but I don't always end up picking it up wherever I am. I read the most at home for sure, but I love to read wherever I am, so I bring my book with me everywhere. Also, I'm not sure if you can tell, but my voice sounds really bad right now, and I think I'm a little bit under the weather, so sorry if my voice is annoying you, because it's annoying me. It's just like reverberating in my head, this awful like chest cold type voice, so I apologize for that. I might need some water. Hold on. Number 8, reading out loud or silently in your head. I actually used to be someone who read out loud pretty often. I liked to make up voices while reading the book, so I would love to read it out loud. Sometimes I read to my dog. Sometimes I jokingly read out loud to my husband, but he hates that, so. But definitely recently I have only read silently in my head, but I used to be the type of person who would occasionally read out loud if I got bored, wanted to just spice it up with some voices and like have some fun. Number 9, do you read ahead or even skip pages? If it's a book I am absolutely hating, I will skip pages. If I'm just completely bored with what's happening and just like feel like it's going so slow or just like want it to be over, I will definitely skip pages. But if it's a book I'm really interested in and like wanting to know everything, no, I won't skip ahead. I won't skip pages or whatever. I'll even be reading the book and like getting to the end of like a very intense chapter or something, and I'll cover my hand just right below where I'm reading so that my eyes don't jump to the bottom of the page and like get spoiled, even though it's like 5 seconds away from me reading it. But like I want to be able to make sure I read all of it before I get that last line or that last word of a chapter, because there's nothing like that feeling if it's like a really good ending to a chapter, like a good cliffhanger. I want to make sure I'm reading everything before I get to that very last word or sentence. So I am very particular about not wanting to skip ahead or not wanting to read ahead if it's a really, really good book. So yeah, I will cover my hand to make sure that my eyes don't accidentally fall to the bottom of the page. But then number 10 is breaking the spine or keeping it like new. This depends on the book. If it's a very floppy paperback, there's no need for me to break the spine. Hardcovers, spines don't really crack, I feel like. And then if it's a really stiff paperback, like, and really short, you know, like when it's like I feel like From Blood and Ash is kind of like that, where it's kind of narrow, and so it's not a very, it's kind of floppy, but it's also not very floppy at the same time. I feel like once I get into this will definitely be one that I do break the spine of or crack the spine of. But then this one, then it would look like you would definitely see the crack in this one. But I don't feel like I could read it this long without ever cracking the spine. But like this one, Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, since it's like shorter and still opens up a pretty decent amount, I don't think I would crack the spine of this one. So again, it depends on the book, but more often than not, I won't crack the spine because I do like to keep my books looking nice and new and to be able to close back up really nicely. But again, depends on the book. And number 11, the final question is, do you write in your books? And yes, I do write in my books if I am annotating them. I don't always write words in my books unless there's something that really brought up a strong thought that I wanted to document and keep forever. But if I'm annotating, I will highlight if it's a book I want to annotate. So not every book I read, I annotate. If I know at some point I will definitely want to reread this book, I won't annotate it the first time around. Or if it's a book that I just want to be able to enjoy and not have the pressure of annotating, then I won't write in it. There's really no rhyme or reason to whether I write in my books or not. I'm classifying writing as also highlighting, so I won't actually, like I said, write words unless I really feel the need to. But I also have post-it notes to use if I don't want to write on the pages. So again, it depends, but overall I would say that no, I don't write in my books always. If I were to do anything, I would highlight, not always write words. But yeah, so that's my answer. I think as I keep reading, as I keep going along in my reading journey, my habits definitely will change and shift a little bit. So who knows how much more of a psychopath I might become in the future, or how much more of a nice, civilized intellectual I will become later down the line. So we shall see. Maybe we'll do this check-in in a year from now and see how my habits have changed. But yes, that's what my habits currently look like. I wouldn't say that I'm much different or special than anybody else. I think a lot of people have similar habits as me, and if you do, let me know down in the comments. If you disagree with me on any of... Oh, I just realized they didn't have a like dog ear question. They didn't have a dog ear question, but I will add that in as a bonus question. Yes, I do dog ear my pages. If circumstance number one, I'm not annotating at all, then I will dog ear some of my favorite scenes and parts in the book. And then I will also dog ear if I'm that desperate to mark my page. If I don't have a bookmark, I will dog ear so that I don't lose my page, because I don't really care about the dog ear thing. I feel like that is totally acceptable. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you hate me for it and I don't care, whatever. But yeah, I think that's totally acceptable. I know a lot of people don't like to dog ear and that's totally fine. But yeah, so that is it for this video. Let me know down below if you have any similar habits as me, or if you think some of my habits are absolutely psychotic. Please let me know as well. We will check back in next year to see how my habits have changed. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.